we'll be publishing our annual dealer survey. Mark and CJ are doing the finishing touches to it. I have to tell you, again, congratulations, because by the way, in the conversation I had with the Japanese guys that were there, which I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, I made them aware of that. And I'm sorry, they were already aware, but basically what I said in the survey, you show an average revenue of 3 times what it was only 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I said, what did you guys do to make that possible? And they weren't going to say much about something, but I just thought that was, and I said, I'll let Mike handle this one.
We've been fortunate, and I think a lot of different things have really worked out for us, right? And we have embraced the entire dealer community. As I mentioned when I had the opportunity to speak at the meeting, we take great pride in being at every possible event we can. I talk about the BTA event. I go there and I have an opportunity to hear dealers talk about what's on their mind, right? It's not my meeting. So I don't get to pitch the story. They're talking about what's important to them, and I just get to listen. And I think that, we take pride in being in those events. So as a result, we learn what's going on. We learn what's needed. I think the other thing is, it's always delicate conversation, but as people are looking at consolidation, I think a lot of dealers are making a switch to Sharp now. They realize that we're going to be here, in 5 or 10 years. They realize the portfolio we have is pretty robust. And so we're getting the type of dealers moving their business over to Sharp that maybe weren't doing that, 5, 10 years ago. So that kind of all comes together. But we do take great pride in supporting our dealers, and hopefully they see the value in what we do. That's, as I said, we get the report card. Everyone talks about market share, and I said, you can grow market share very easy. I can walk right out of here right now and slash 20% off the cost of my product. Dealers, that's not happening, but we'll sell a lot of product. But you can't reinvest in your business. You can't grow your business doing that. And we'd rather just do the right thing with our dealers. And if we do that, that's the report card, right? They start selling more Sharp. That's the judgment, not how much we can discount. So, we take pride in that. And I think it's worked for us, and we're going to continue to do that. And we're going to continue that for all our dealers, not just our top dealers.
Well, it's interesting that to look at it from your perspective, but from our perspective, it's special this year. And the reason I say that it's special, Mike, is from the beginning of the year, there's been like a sense of pain in our industry, lack of profitability. That's been the common denominator. But yet, I didn't get any of that sense at the meeting that this.
No, I think, we do what we do, right? I'm not, I don't really worry about the other people's strategies. Our strategy is not to get into price wars, right? And we're going to be competitive. We're going to fight for business, all those things. But, if you go to your dealer with only the offering of, hey, how much of a discount do you need? You're sending a message. You're sending that price is all that matters. That's all we have to offer. And that gets passed along the value chain. I think you saw at our meeting, I pushed the concept of, product, people, and processes. And we spent a lot of time, that was really feedback of our dealer community, dealer council and dealer community, that, okay, we get it, Sharp. We got to diversify. We get it. There's challenges. How are we going to fix this, right? And so, we looked for ways to show them lean management. Melissa Canfalone and Frazier and Bruce Ennis talking about how we're going to drive better processes in our dealerships to help improve profitability. The world's changed, right? How do we leverage that? We had Jocelyn Corbin of DSI talking about, as you do those changes, how do you put your people in the right seats? How do you leverage the best assets of people? So I think we tried to combine, and you could be the judge, but we tried to combine the fact that, hey, we got great products. We introduced 18 products, but it's really about the people. How do you drive the people processes? How do you make the people more effective? How do you make your company more efficient? And hopefully, if we can do that for our dealers and remain competitive with product, then they're going to be successful and they're going to be profitable. And I don't want to go down a rabbit hole. And I said that from the stage. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole of discounting, of lowering pricing, and just trying to get market share by being the cheapest guy on the street. Because eventually that comes back to haunt you. You have to take away things. You have to take away support. You have to take away service. You have to take away product. And those are things that I think, the sharp dealers appreciate. They're very profitable. I hear that all the time, from, in the acquisition world. They like sharp dealers because they're profitable. The business is smooth, things like that. So that's a goal of ours, right? How do we be a good partner with all of our dealers?
Well, I'll just kind of wrap this all up with one last comment, my own view of the meeting. The breakout sessions clearly demonstrated that you have diversified the product line. I mean, and that's not something Sharp has been given a great deal of credit for. But clearly, in the Dynabrook book session I sit in, was very clear what there was. And of course, the production print, with this effort that you're making now in production print, very clear that you're diversifying the opportunity for your dealers. So
yeah, it's been a push, obviously, and I think it's a secret sauce of Sharp, having the other categories, having displays, having Dynabooks. And what's beautiful about it, we put up the numbers. Mark Harrell's put up the numbers to show what diversified deals look like. But I think even more behind the numbers was really cool in seeing that we had a dealer that does a couple $100,000 with us on the copier side do 1,000 units in Dynabook, right? So they doubled their business just on Dynabook with us, right? It's a great opportunity for them. The number one Dynabook reseller, though, was a dealer that does tens of millions with us. So it really works for everybody. Same thing with displays they're able to sell everything. So we had 23 different breakout sessions. And, one of the things the feedback we got from our roadshow, a lot of dealers said on the comment section, what was impressive is that we were able to fill up a 2-day roadshow of breakout sessions with just Sharp content, no other vendors, no other partners. We were able to do 23 different breakouts of our stuff. And I think, to me, that really speaks to how broad of a line we have and how much we have to offer dealers. But like I said, just want to be clear, I love copiers. That is the bread and butter here. But knowing that we have the other offerings really helps the dealer. It protects that business. So,
well, I tell you, I congratulate you. As I've said before, great meeting. And I appreciate you coming on and sharing with you the very good time you had. Take care, Mike. It's always great to be with you.
thank you very much. And I appreciate you guys spending the time with us last week. It was wonderful to have you.